We asked Mr. Ikokwe about the possibility of people moving on without getting some kind of subvention or even grant or assistance from the government. But someone had to send us a tweet to say, what about the environment? That even Bill Gates didn't thrive in a very raw cost environment. So how can we look at the environment and put this into perspective and say the environment is suitable against all odds for someone to really thrive and create jobs and move on?
Incidentally, the business and economic environment is one of the courses I teach. And I tell my students, look, it's the environment that determines how you succeed, even if you succeed at all. The success of your business or failure depends on the environment. Because if the environment, part of the environment is the legal system. If the legal system and also the politics, if the politics is not right, and so you find the politics will make the policy that will favor or go against you. We have had people who were having thriving businesses, but when the government came up with the policy of banning some fruit juice, the young man that was a major importer of fruit juice into this country lost his job and his business. He actually went bankrupt. But again, it has created opportunities for us. Domestic indigenous entrepreneurs to come up with ingenious ways of manufacturing some of these things. Because we need to have a good manufacturing base so that we'll be able to begin to create this job we're talking about.
Our last guest said we shouldn't go to manufacturing now because we do not have the basic infrastructure power to handle that. But we should look at providing service.
Yeah. Now, the thing is this. The power constitutes between 65 and 80% of, depending on what you're doing, of manufacturing component. Okay? Now, but there's something that could be done. And also, the ITC, International Trade Center, a couple of years ago at an event, they said that in 2050, by the year 2050, that 80% of the workforce globally will be employed, by the services sector. So for Africa to leapfrog, they should focus on services. But service comes out of industries. So we need to have a good base. Take, for instance, Ebonyi State. I looked at Ebonyi State, during the political thing. I said, okay, my program is to, develop, industrialize the state. Through what I call factor endowment-based development strategy. How is that? Pick a product. I keep saying this. Go to Sweden. They have done a study. And they found that there are two products that can build a cluster of industries around. Pick a product and do it. And develop such. Take Ebonyi State, for instance, a major producer of rice. And the value chain of rice is so long that you can do so many things. And I said to them, look, even if we can generate our own power, build a cluster so that they can share these things. I was in South Africa not too long ago and on a trade visit, and I was taken to, with other people, we were taken to a place, an industrial park. All you need to do is bring your equipment and fix. There was power, there was office space, there was so many other things, water and all that provided. All you need to do is move in with your equipment, and you have about 18 months or 5 years the tax shield to enable you operate. And then there you also have funders, venture capitalists, private equity companies, hedge fund managers who are able, because these are the people that understand the mindset of an entrepreneur, the kind of risk entrepreneurs take. Banks should actually government should make money available. And that's one of the mistakes our governments have been making. Channeling money meant for businesses, entrepreneur businesses, especially through the conventional banks. And they're not set up to do that kind of, to take that kind of risk.
It's interesting.
We should encourage venture capital companies and then angel investors I mean, these politicians and all that, they have money, they can become angel investors. They have enough money to even, do some of this.
Yeah, you're asking, you're asking politicians, in other words, you're almost asking them to run charity businesses, as it were, give out angel capital. People ask me, can I ask you why banks don't lend? Why are banks finding? Because that's one thing, that's something that the CBN governor has said over and over again. He wants banks to be stronger. He wants them. In fact, he's gone to the extent of setting up agricultural desk, in banks where they have to make sure they employ graduates from the University of Agriculture, so that we can even revive the agricultural sector and even lend to small businesses. It's like he's bringing out the next. Yet it seems banks are not lending to the real sector.
When the policy made it look as if borrowing money from the bank is a crime. The damage that was done by publishing lists of creditors. The people have not,
Oh, so is it the people that are not going to the banks to lend?
The banks they have money to lend. But if you have CBN, you might lend and they say, why did you lend and all that. So it's like the issue of that Bible story told about talents being given to, and one man went and buried his own talent. And the owner of the talent came and said, give me what is your
People
profit?
are saying, but some people believe that that's not the reason, that banks just want their they don't want to tie down their capital for too long.
When the policy is that you give and you can request for the money anytime. If you're done, the CBN will require the money anytime. And again, you find that the issue of how conservative banks are. Banks don't like the kind of risk that you just throw money and all that. They need to be sure, and they need to understand how businesses function.
Time was when banks used to take ideas and help grow it and help turn it into a successful business. What's happening to that time? Why did we lose that time?
No, it's because of the policies. The banking today is not banking we used to have in the 90s and 80s. And again, you find that they don't even have the capacity, the kind of loans they give out. Those companies that are blue chip companies, they know that they've been there for so many years. When they call for their money, they like lending to companies like Cadbury, and then the Nigerian breweries and Liver Brothers and all that.
And we all agree that that's not what creates employment. Is where the power lies in small medium scale businesses.
And in any economy, it's small businesses that help big businesses, and big businesses also help small businesses. Take Toyota, for instance. The Asian economic success was not just by the government. Toyota contributed a whole lot. Now, an average car has about 40,000 components. An average car. Now, what Toyota has done is to avoid, say, manufacturing. They have over 4,000 vendors. And each vendor, they were able to build their capacity, funded them, initial funding, give them money up front, set up their systems, their management and financial systems, set up their quality control to come up with products that will match their own business. So when they finish a design, they send to any of the vendors there across Asia. So they keep doing that. And today, the economies of these countries have also grown. Toyota alone, 4,000 vendors. Imagine if each vendor employs about 5 people. You see the multiplication, the multiplier effects that it will have. If Procter & Gamble or Liver Brothers or Cadbury could do that, but these companies, all small businesses, they don't pay them on time. And then how do you want them to survive?
Okay, let's look at the issue of, in doing all of this, government setting up institutions and all that, and infrastructure. What about safety nets for these enterprises, for these small businesses? For instance, China spends about $618 billion on various infrastructural programs, roads, railway, and all that. The people there have 90% of the population has access to medical corporations. 60% countries have age-old insurance and all that. They have access to free education as well.
Yeah.
Now, these are safety nets. Do we have those kind of safety nets, or do you think government has plans for those kind of nets before we go into this?
During Obasanjo's era, the impression they gave us was still is that you provide your own health, you buy your own schooling, these two major things, which is critical to development of any economy. But you find that such things are not even available. There's no safety net. The health insurance scheme, I think if they have not scrapped it, they are planning to do so. And companies and individuals are not taking advantage of that. So you find that such things, these are some of the policies that we have to put in place to enable us.
How can we begin to move into the era where big businesses can support small businesses? You gave us the Toyota example.
Yes.
How can we begin to get to that place?
Well, it's a matter of one. It's a tripartite thing. Now they have the government on one side, you have the big business on the other side, and you have the entrepreneurs on the other side. So that the entrepreneurs themselves will be honest enough, they have a good concept and they are committed to what they are doing. And not just, because money follows service. But sometimes you find that the money is in front and the service is behind. Instead of the money following service, it's service that following money. Okay, it's not supposed to be so. We need a change of attitude in the way that we approach things, in the way we see money and borrowed money and borrowing, especially. So we need to have a change of attitude, and to change any society, you need to change the way they think. So, starting from through education, such attitude could be changed, and then big businesses again should even government is guilty of this. They don't pay contractors on time. And they're owing trillions of naira.
In other words, it's a mixed bag.
Yes. So when you pay contractors, these monies will go to the banks. Banks will have long-term investment, which either venture capital firms or private equity firms can also get these monies from the bank and invest in enterprises.